Greetings everyone, thanks for stopping by. Now, when I was starting my video schedule, this wasn't one of the ones I had on it, at least not this early. But the more I got to talking to people, the more I kind of see the general discussion that's going on right now, I figured it would be a good topic to discuss. And so I guess because of that, this is sort of a hot take, so let's just get on into it. Stop saying everything in Dungeons & Dragons is broken. Yes, we know. There are very powerful spells, feats, classes, subclasses, multi-classing capabilities. But remember, it's D&D. It's fantasy. We are all supposed to end up being, well, as long as we play our cards right, legendary adventurers. So it makes sense that the things we have are broken. Let's look at the entire concept of monk shit. The colloquial term we all know for just, oh wait, a monk can do what now? Yeah, man, monk shit. Man, monks are broken. The reason things are done that way is to give people what D&D has been missing. Remember 3rd edition? When it was just us playing? Not everyone was into it yet. Sure, we had high customability. Sure, we had options galore, and we had a cavalcade of things to choose from. But you know what else we didn't have? A sort of welcoming functionality, a sort of accessibility for new players to just hop into. So yes, to get new players to come in, sure, we've kind of filed down the edges a bit and taken a lot of minutia out. But you know what we have now? An audience. For the most part, 5th edition has mass appeal, and that's wonderful. And they did that by doing a brilliant thing. Instead of sitting down and breaking down things with abacuses and hours of looking into and research and just general scrutiny, when they see that one thing's very powerful, they just, we gave monks a rocket launcher, we'll make sure everybody else gets a bazooka or a flamethrower or whatever, and it'll be fine. And you know what? It has. Because there isn't a single class out there that you can't point to something about it and saying, oh, that's broken. Who cares if your monk's not going to die from old age or a disease? I have never played a game where in the middle of something I had to roll for dying of old age. And granted, diseases are cool and a thing that DMs should prod more into as a concept to provide obstacles. It's ultimately not something that happens that often, so let it be. Barbarians with Totem of the Bear are resistant to all form of damage except for psychic. Warlocks get massive damage-dealing spell slots back from short rests. Fighters have so many ability score increases. If they're not sitting with all of the feats in the world, most of their stats are 20 if they want them to be 20. Paladins can put spell slots into smites after crits, and they have so much aura that they probably aren't ever going to fail a save. I could do this for all the classes. I'm probably gonna, but some other time. This is supposed to be a hot take. Let's look at Sentinel. It's one of the largest examples of this. There's no size limit given, so someone at your table could make the argument, well, with this dagger I stick into the side of this purple worm, it's not going to move anymore. Well, that's the point where you as the DM need to step down and kind of drop that heavy mom and or dad energy and say, no it doesn't, actually. You're this and he's this. No. You're just going to have to settle with the fact that, yeah, that's a little ridiculous to assume. And your players should respect you enough to be like, yeah, you're right. This should be a thing your players genuinely accept. Because, like the point of this, it does sound a little ridiculous. But that's up to you as the DM to rein things in and make things reasonable. Let's get to the other side of this argument. The one that really ground my gears to the point where I had to discuss this. Unearthed Arcana. Everybody wants to say Unearthed Arcana is very broken. I've said it. Because you know what? Most of the time, we are bringing ludicrous power levels to fights. And as most content creators or people who made a lot of homebrew will tell you, It is so much easier to hone something down to a more reasonable level than to find something to give to bring it up. Now, that's not to say that they've gone very far out of left field and just, how was this supposed to be balanced ever? Looking at you, Astral Projection Monk. Now, I love those guys. And you know what? That's what Unearthed Arcana is supposed to be about. They even tell you, this is just playtest material. This is meant to get your experienced players' opinion about it. It's not meant to be something that's taken tooth and nail and canon. We'd be getting content a lot more regularly if people stopped saying on the internet that we should stop playing Unearthed Arcana. They need that playtesting so that they can make a well-rounded character. You need to destroy a game with an Unearthed Arcana character to be like, yeah, this ability was ridiculous, and I can't find any way that it was justified. They'll take that, and then they'll be like, yeah, okay, well, we'll go from there. That entire experience is avoided when we just be like, nah, too powerful. First of all, you're not supposed to use these in your long-form campaigns. They even say that. This is for playtesting, so calm down. Ultimately, this should just be a fun one-shot, or maybe just like a mini campaign you guys are toying around with. And when you're playing games like that, I know we all have sticklers occasionally that we play with, but who's going to be like, excuse me, that guy's slightly more powerful than me, I'm not having fun then. It's not blatant favoritism. It's not homebrewing with malice. It's not, oh, look at me, I'm a very special boy. It's playtesting. Just remember, if you're sitting at a table surrounded by friends, people that you want to play with, and you're worried that someone is drastically more powerful than you in this game that you're never going to play again because this is just a one-shot you're doing, homie, you gotta learn to let that go. Because that's basically the precipice to winning at Dungeons & Dragons. If you roll for stats, you know that there's always that one player that becomes nigh godlike. And there's always that one player that is an uncharismatic, bumbling fool, but he lifts things good. And you know what? That's fun. And most barbarians I know roll with it, enjoy it, and love it. It's Dungeons & Dragons. We're supposed to be having fun. Let's focus on making sure we do that. Honestly, to me, the thought of every time they do an Unearthed Arcana dump to just getting all my players together and making just 5 of the strongest, beefiest test characters we can and just walk through Egypt like the gods and goddesses we are and destroy Dio Brando, I think that is a fantastic idea. That sounds fun to me. That's the sort of thing that, hey, in this game where we're supposed to destroy dragons and become immortal gods at the end, let's do that a little bombastically. I'm here for a good time. It's Dungeons & Dragons, baby. So instead of keeping those negative, nasty, argumentative, nerdy arguments we like to get in ourselves about, let's not say things are broken and it's bad. And let's realize that everything's broken, so it's balanced. And let's just start rolling with stuff. It is role play, after all, isn't it? Now, I mean no malice, and I definitely don't mean to say that anyone that has said these things is either bad at D&D or not a good dungeon master or a Dungeons & Dragons player. Not by a long shot. All I'm saying is that we need to take a lesson from improv and start saying yes and. Instead of just looking at a thing and saying that's broken. When you say that to someone who's never experienced it before, that's casting a lot of doubt in their head or an undesire, or makes them not want to play it. And that's ultimately not good for anybody else. That discourages the chance at creativity. And that's just no fun for anybody. Let things happen. let broken things break. Learn from those things and make something better at the end. Isn't that the whole point? Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd liked it. That would mean the world to me. Why not subscribe? I'm dropping content pretty regularly. I'm going to be doing another drop this Friday, dropping 2 more videos. One about spells. The other one, I've got a bunch of things rattling off in the brain. There's a bunch of footage I need to edit, so we'll find out and leave that one as a surprise. I also Twitch stream D&D workshops regularly. You can find out my schedule on arcanistgames.com. I also stream video game content almost nightly on twitch.tv/the_arcanisttv. Appreciate you over there as well. Thanks for stopping by, and until next time, go make some memories.